So guys, now ever since this man Mikey Williams has officially been a quote-unquote free man, just based on what I've been seeing on social media and just people that I've talked to, everybody and their mama is asking the same question, like, what is next for Mikey Williams? When is he going to be returning from Memphis? Is he even still going to Memphis? Is he gonna get drafted in the 2024 NBA draft? Like, what in the who, bro, is next for this man Mikey? Now, in this specific moment in time, you guys know it's been a few days since he's been a free man, and as I'm recording this video, we still haven't officially heard from Penny Hardaway or from anybody in the Memphis organization. Now, for the people that has not been keeping up with Memphis so far this season, please turn up the volume, because I need you guys to understand that this Memphis team right now is arguably one of the most underrated teams in college right now. They're actually currently 5-1 as I'm recording this video, and they've actually picked up some pretty respectable wins within their 5 games that they've won. They've won against teams like Missouri, Michigan, Arkansas, and it's actually still kind of crazy to me that they're still not ranked within the top 25, especially beating a team like Arkansas, which Arkansas beat Duke. Duke is a top 10 team in the nation, and they're still not. Guys, something is just not adding up. But in regards to Mikey Williams, you guys know Mikey Williams originally committed to Memphis back in November of 2022, and he was a player that was very early to his commitment to Memphis. Now, if you look at the Memphis roster, this team is completely different and is pretty much been changed ever since Mikey committed back in November. I would definitely say that this team is more veteran heavy, and most notably, they actually picked up Javon Quinterly, who has been a huge part of their success so far this season, averaging about 12 points and 4 assists on pretty solid efficiency. And he was supposed to be the point guard to go alongside Mikey Williams to be one of the top backcourts in the entire nation. Now, if you've been keeping up with this channel, you guys know that I've made my comments about this backcourt. If I personally believe if they're gonna mesh together, if there's an opportunity or not, and just based on both of their play styles, this is just a backcourt that I just need to see to believe. It's also very important to note that Javon Quinterly was a very late addition to this Memphis roster, only committing a few months back, I believe in July. And I always wonder if Mikey Williams would have committed to Memphis if he knew that Javon Quinterly was going to be on this program. But just because Javon Quinterly, you guys know he's a very ball dominant type of player, and he essentially needs the ball in his hands to be effective on the floor. But Mikey Williams, I would definitely say that he's a player that can be dominant, but he can also play off the ball. I personally think that Mikey Williams plays better when he's more in a dominant position and whenever he's playing aggressive. But the fact that Mikey Williams is a very prolific shooter, he's a great scorer, he can play off the ball, he has a nice touch. I just think Mikey Williams is a guy that you can plug and play, at least on the offensive side of the ball. The defensive side of the ball, that's another story for another day. Me personally, I think defense is based solely on effort, and just based on what we've been seeing from Mikey Williams just so far in his entire career, you guys know he's really not that guy that's going to put the most amount of effort on defense. I'm not saying that he can't. It's just based on effort, and he doesn't really put that much effort on that side of the ball. That's actually something that I've been reading on scouting reports and just based on what I've heard as well. So that's definitely something that I think that he definitely needs to improve on. But regardless, in regards to Mikey Williams and if he's going to be a lock to be an NBA drafted in this up and coming 2024 NBA draft, I know a lot of people are probably going to have some mixed opinions about what I'm about to say, but just based on what I've seen, Mikey Williams in this specific moment in time is not a lock to be a first or second round pick in the 2024 NBA draft. He's really never been a lock, at least in my personal opinion. And I think because of the world of social media, considering who he is, how these pages hype him up, the titles that they go along, it really makes Mikey Williams seems like he's the best player out there, and he's a top 3, and he would easily be a first round lottery pick in the draft. But guys, that's just not the case. There's a huge reason why his ranking has continued to drop ever since his freshman year. And I'm not saying that that's accurate, but I personally get it from the scouts perspective. You got to understand the fact that he's been transferring so many times, and he's not just transferring to high regarded programs. He's transferring to programs where he's essentially been the main dude at these schools. Like I said before, the fact that he doesn't really put much energy on the defensive side of the ball, even sometimes on the offensive side of the ball, he doesn't really play with the most tenacity out there. He kind of just goes through the motions, and sometimes he's just not trying or giving his best foot forward, when I think the potential is super high for Mikey, and he can easily be a first round pick if he just played a lot harder on both sides. You guys got to understand, the whole too cool for school attitude is just not going to work in the NBA and even in college. These guys don't care who you are, and they're going to go at Mikey. And if he's playing with this sleepy type of energy, it's just not going to work, and he's not going to be a draft pick in whatever draft that he declares for. And I think just based on everything that I just said, that's the main reason why you're not going to see him in these mock drafts. But regardless of what I'm saying, can Mikey Williams become a draft pick? Is he going to have a successful year at Memphis? Personally, like I said, I think he can. I just think he's going to be the person that really determines that with the amount of effort that he's going to be putting in these games at Memphis. It's really just going to determine if he really wants it bad enough. I know Mikey Williams says that he really wants to make it to the league, but I just need to see it. I don't want to hear him say it. I really want to see the amount of effort that he's going to be putting in, if he really wants it bad enough or not. I just feel like he treated his whole basketball journey more like a business. I'm not necessarily saying that's a bad thing, but you got to understand the basketball at the end of the day, that's the engine. That's what comes first over anything. And if the basketball doesn't mesh, everything else is just not going to follow as well. I feel like people talk more about his followers and his antics off the court more than they do his actual game. I'm still a believer, and I think that Mikey Williams can have a high level basketball career if he's in X Games mode and if he gets more serious with his craft. Like I said, we really don't know what's next for Mikey in this specific moment in time as I'm recording this video. I believe that we will hear from Memphis here shortly. Let me know if you guys want a more in-depth video about this whole Memphis team as a whole, and let me know your thoughts about Mikey.